ever feel nostalgia for the first place you ever stayed when traveling abroad? It can sometimes be like you were able to look past any faults and just see it through rose-tinted glasses. Well, I experience that whenever I walk back around Hatagaya. Located within Shibuya while being just 2 stops away from Shinjuku Station, most tourists completely look past this neighborhood in favor of its more famous neighbors. But what if you decide to retire and choose Hatagaya as a long-term stay for a trip or a half-life? It holds a very special place in my heart as the location of my first multi-day stay in Japan, but let's try to objectively determine what Hatagaya has to offer as a home base for your stay in Tokyo. Is it possible that my nostalgia is blinding me? Will a typhoon rolling through Tokyo this week hamper the filming of this review at all? Can a neighborhood that feels so normal compete with the heavy hitters on our list? We have our categories and our scoring system established already, so let's get into the grades and be sure to stick to the end to find out where it stands within our ever-growing tier list and what topic we'll be tackling next. Also, be sure to join our Discord to chat more about Japan and finances, or if you just want to hang out with more like-minded people. Now, let's start breaking down the pros and cons of living in one of my favorite neighborhoods in Tokyo. When it comes to transit, Hatagaya offers a very typical station experience in Tokyo, but it comes with a few specific quirks. The neighborhood is served by a single station, that being Hatagaya Station, which sits on the Keio New Line. Now, the line itself certainly has its uses. It takes you directly into Shinjuku in about 5 minutes, which gives you rapid access to one of the biggest transit hubs in the city. You can easily get to Kichijoji or even Shibuya by using the line to travel a few stations west and quickly transferring at Meidei Station, and heading even further west will bring you well into Hachioji and the great hiking opportunities in the form of Mount Takao and the other surrounding mountains. However, the Keio New Line can be slightly annoying for daily commuting. Because it operates as a through service that turns into the Toei Shinjuku line at Shinjuku Station, navigating fare zones between different operators can sometimes charge you a bit more depending on where you are transferring. It has the same challenges as Hatsudai Station, which I discussed in my Nishi Shinjuku review. But unlike Hatsudai Station, you are entirely reliant on this one line and station within Hatagaya. You don't really have any other walking distance options nearby, so you best hope that the Keio New Line doesn't have any delays. Shinjuku Station is about a 30-minute walk, so I think that is fine once in a while, but definitely not the kind of thing you would really want to work into a daily commute. Hatagaya Station is great for getting into the city center or out to the mountains. It accomplishes exactly what it needs to do in that sense, but nothing else very noteworthy. This is pretty typical for most stations as you start to move away from the central Tokyo area, so it could be a lot worse, and having such a fast connection to Shinjuku Station is always going to be super convenient. I think it would be fair to give Hatagaya a perfectly average 3 out of 5 for public transportation. If you were to ask me what a typical Tokyo neighborhood looks like, Hatagaya is exactly what comes to mind. To me, this is Tokyo. The area is defined by its classic local shopping streets, known as Shotengai, packed with charming little businesses, independent cafes, and izakayas that have been there for years. I feel like you can just walk into any alley and stumble across some small business you have never noticed before. One of my favorite features of the area's character is the local greenway cutting through the neighborhood, providing a welcome touch of nature and a break from the asphalt. There are also a couple other small, cute parks in the area, and I find them pretty charming. Additionally, it features another entry in the Tokyo Toilet Project collection, like I pointed out in the Nishi Shinjuku review. I find the shopping streets very peaceful, especially at night when the lights turn on, and I always loved returning to this area at the end of a long day exploring the super populated tourist attractions of the city. Some parts feel empty, but at the same time it all feels very lived in and cozy, for lack of a better term. The streets here just have a great sense of ambiance that you don't really find in the more crowded districts. Hatagaya is as average as it comes, but it possesses a distinct, small neighborhood charm that I really enjoy. Walking around here, it feels like a home to me, as if you are experiencing a local small-town community rather than dodging crowds of visitors and tearing through a tourist trap. Because it lacks a major, flashy landmark or a defining subculture, it doesn't hit those higher brackets of unique flavor, but to me, it is the baseline standard of Tokyo daily life, unremarkable to a tourist, but deeply comforting for a resident. A solid 3 out of 5 once again. Given that quiet, local character, Hatagaya offers a highly functional and convenient daily living experience. The neighborhood features a fantastic variety of local restaurants and essential businesses. Notably, it is home to one of the biggest grocery stores I regularly shopped at while living in Tokyo, making daily meal prep or grabbing standard amenities incredibly convenient. Coming back here every night genuinely feels like a stress relief. You still have a major road and the nearby train line, which brings noise as you would expect, but there is a noticeable lack of people walking around compared to the more populated neighborhoods I've discussed in the past. Hatagaya has everything you need to sustain a comfortable daily routine. That said, there are a couple of trade-offs to keep in mind for a long-term stay. It is just slightly too far from Shinjuku to reasonably walk there every single day, meaning you are dependent on taking the train whenever you want to go do major shopping or dining. This is a little annoying, knowing that the convenience of Shinjuku is just slightly too far to walk to every day. 2 kilometers isn't super far, but I feel it is just far enough to be frustrating. That said, if you don't mind paying for the train every time, you can still access that convenience very quickly. And if you're looking into monthly mansions or short-term furnished apartments, landlords do charge a bit of a premium due to its proximity to Shinjuku. I doubt there will be a single property listing within Hatagaya that doesn't brag about being 5 minutes to Shinjuku, and they will charge for that convenience. It could certainly be worse, but it isn't the cheapest residential area available. Hatagaya offers a very predictable, stable living environment. It balances urban convenience with residential peace and quiet. I don't think anyone would be upset with living here, and it would make you feel more like a real local in my opinion. That's how I felt at the time at least. So with that said, I will be giving Livability a 3 out of 5. At this point, I think it won't come as a surprise that Hatagaya ranks as average in this category as well. Because there are no massive tourist attractions pulling crowds into the interior streets, businesses have not heavily adapted to English-only speakers. That being said, this is still central Tokyo, so you won't be left entirely in the dark. The local hotel staff were capable of English when I was there, and you will occasionally run into other tourists and expats around the station, so it isn't like the local businesses never see foreigners. They are used to dealing with us on occasion. As you might expect, many of the local restaurants along the shopping streets have English signage or English menus available to help navigate a meal, and the station staff were nice enough to help me when I was still learning how to use trains. This is a very standard Tokyo experience. A basic level of English is accessible at key points, but having a foundational grasp of Japanese will go a long way when interacting with the smaller, independent shops. It is once again going to earn a 3 out of 5. When we add up the scores, Hatagaya lands at 12 points total, placing it right in the C tier, otherwise known as totally average. Objectively, this neighborhood is about the absolute baseline standard of a Tokyo residential area to me. It is average across the board, not outstanding in any single metric, but not failing in any of them either. Hatagaya is basically what I've come to expect of any area I live in within Japan. Anything less would be a disappointment to me personally. While I am incredibly nostalgic for it as my first real home base in the city, looking at it objectively shows it is simply a fine, reliable choice. It does blend in with numerous other districts within the city, and I expect that if I hadn't stayed there first, I wouldn't hold it in such high esteem. If your goal is to experience an authentic, typical Japanese lifestyle away from the neon noise and the shoulder-to-shoulder crowds, Hatagaya is an excellent place to settle down for a short to mid-term stay. Thank you so much for watching. Before we wrap up, I did want to say a massive thank you to everyone. We recently hit 3,000 subscribers on the channel. I really appreciate the growth and everyone who tunes in for my videos. Last week, many people commented on the light flickering issue with my footage. I am aware of it and I have tried various things to fix it, but have not yet found any success. Mainly because I can't adjust the shutter speed on the Pixel phone I am using, and none of the deflicker editors I am using are working. If you have any suggestions, then I would love to hear them. As of last week, the community Discord channel is up and running. I've placed the link in my profile, the description, and the pinned comment below. Feel free to join if you want a convenient place to discuss travel, finances, life in Japan, or a variety of other topics. I've enjoyed chatting with people there over the last week, and I am sure you would have fun too, so please join the growing community over on Discord. If you want to see more neighborhood reviews or info about pursuing a fire lifestyle in Japan, please make sure to subscribe and check out the other videos on my channel. As usual, my affiliate links to the monthly mansion company Hmlet and NordVPN are down in the description. Now let's look at the wheel to see where we'll be heading next time. Alright, it will be Nezu. That might be one a lot of viewers aren't familiar with, actually. However, like I mentioned in the last video, it will be about a month before we get to it. I am going to be leaving Tokyo for a few weeks for visa processing reasons, and will be returning at the end of June. Over the next few weeks, I'll be releasing videos covering some other different topics instead, so keep an eye out for those. Hopefully, being in the US will give me better luck with monetizing the channel as well, since I'm still having no luck with that. Thank you again for the support on reaching 3K subs, and I'll see you in the next video.